Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. Today, Kyle Bauer and Jennifer Allman with the Livestock Marketing Association visit about payment assurity services. Next, enjoy this week's Kansas soybean update. Then Kyle and Cinch Munson with the Propane Education and Research Council talk about the new generation of propane equipment. Next, learn how producers use genetics to raise beef that capture differentiated value. And we'll end with Kyle, joined by Dwayne Taves on Plain Talk.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum. Growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Let's join Kyle and Jennifer Allman and learn about payment assurity services.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer reporting from Kansas City. I'm visiting with Jennifer Allman. She's with LMA, Livestock Marketing Association. Tell us about what LMA is.
LMA is a national organization for livestock auction markets, dealers, and order buyers throughout the United States.
The cattle market's been very volatile right now, and there's been some that have lost money in the market. LMA is reacting to that.
Yes, we are. We have just launched a new product called LMA Pays, and that's Payment Assurity Services. And what that product is, it's an insurance product. It's not a fund, and it's to help a market mitigate its risk against a buyer default from a bad check or an open invoice.
Because the sale barn makes a very small margin with a lot of money that goes through that. They count on the people buying cattle that their checks are going to be good. They issue the checks to the sellers, and in the meantime, if one of those buyers it isn't good, it can be a real tragedy.
It can. Very good point. Large risk for small reward. This is a $30 billion industry, and our markets recognize that, and they are concerned right now about their buyers' ability to pay. Last business cycle, we saw one of the largest dealers ever incurred a default, and it was the largest recorded. And as we know, it left a lot of our member markets holding millions of dollars of open invoices and non-sufficient funds checks. And we know about history, it repeats itself, and so it's just a matter of time. In addition, in the current business cycle, as you mentioned, we're seeing huge price fluctuations. We've seen the largest and the highest cattle prices, and we've also seen steep declines in a very short period of time. And then finally, leading to the development of this is also that oftentimes when you're talking about a $30 billion business, and the market does have to file a claim against a dealer bond, those funds are not usually sufficient enough to cover that default. So for all those reasons and factors, that's what has led to the development of this product.
And it's truly insurance. So in the case that you talked about earlier, in that case, the insurance would have been called on to make that barn whole. So the next week they can open their doors and make all the checks good that week.
Yeah, the way the product works is that you go through an application and underwriting process, you pick your deductibles and you pick your limits. And then we use the buyer registration consent form process as a tool and criteria of the product. That allows the market to vet out their buyers and to make sure that they have the funds, verification of deposits to pay for those transactions. Now, oftentimes we get the question, well, how is this going to benefit the industry? And first and foremost, it protects against the market's assets. And in turn, what that does is it allows the market to provide a venue for the consignor seller, and which provides a lot of transparency, competition, true price discovery at the speed of commerce, and it guarantees payment to the consignor.
Truly, though, as a buyer at a sale barn, you shouldn't be offended if they're checking your credit prior to your being allowed to purchase.
That is correct. If it's in the best interest of everybody, the consignor and the market and the buyer, that allows the buyer to actually come into the market and make those purchases and transactions if the market can vet out their financial condition.
We're visiting with Jennifer Allman. She's with LMA. This is Kyle Bauer reporting from Kansas City.
Folks, stay with us after the break. Next up is this week's Kansas soybean update.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Support Kansas agriculture education with an AgriTag. AgriTags are available anytime at your county treasurer. They look great on cars and trucks. For more information, go online to ksagclassroom.org.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Doug Shoup, K-State Extension agronomist for Southeast Kansas, joins us. And Doug, with soybean planting underway in Kansas, this is the time for them to consider double crop soybeans.
Wheat harvest is just around the corner or just getting started, and so we've had a lot of rainfall. So there's a lot of soil profiles out there that have plenty of moisture, and I know that producers will actually be thinking about that, especially now that we've seen a little enhanced market and if to plant some double crop soybeans.
If you are considering the double crop soybeans, optimal planting time as to when to do that?
The data would suggest that the earlier the better, and as we get into different parts of Kansas, planting dates can be important, but just as long as we get them planted by mid-June, that's generally pretty good yield potential. But when we get into the later part of mid to late June, and planting date becomes much more critical, so even a day delay in planting, producers know that can be a pretty significant drop in yield. And so a lot of producers have the mindset of as soon as that combine leaves the field after a wheat harvest, we have the planter getting in there immediately, because planting date is really important when we're talking about double crop soybeans with a shortened season like we are this late into the season.
And planting in narrow rows is key too.
Yeah, we've seen that it can help for sure, is that when we have planting early, wide rows can do fairly well. It has plenty of time to branch out, and every branch has a node, and that's where the yield is made. Often we can see enhanced yields late planting with narrower rows, just because we can space those plants out across the acres more evenly and get a more opportunity to make nodes before it kicks into reproductive mode.
The United Soybean Board and the Kansas Soybean Commission are very strong participants in regards to this initiative itself.
Yeah, we've had a really nice opportunity to be involved with a multi-state, multi-region project on double crop soybean. The United Soybean Board and our local Kansas Soybean Commission have made it a priority, and so some new research is going to be conducted on double crop soybeans. In addition, we're going to summarize all the previous research from across the United States on double crop soybeans, so just a little bit more emphasis put on that double crop soybean system. So we've seen from some of our data, when we have high yield, we remove a lot of nutrients, and so sometimes little things like row spacing, population, adding additional fertility, because that wheat crop has really taken out a lot of the nutrients that we can see a little bit more management needed if you really want to grow double crop soybeans right.
Doug Shoup, K-State Extension agronomist for Southeast Kansas, joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. After the break, let's join Kyle and Cinch Munson as they discuss the new generation of propane equipment.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Well-designed container flower gardens bring beauty to your home, at your entry, on your patio, or placed in a special spot in your landscape. Let Jackson's help you select the correct plant combinations which will add the color and style you need and that will survive the summer to provide beauty till frost.
Our annual Mix or Match flat clearance is going on now. A flat of 12 4-packs is just $19.99. Similar savings on premium proven winter annuals too.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Thanks for staying with us. Kyle and Cinch talk about propane prices, supplies, and seasonality of demand, and how they impact new propane equipment.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Cinch Munson. We're going to talk propane today. We're in Kansas City at Trade Talk. Cinch, the news that I think there is about propane right now is that the prices are so good.
Yeah, prices are extremely good, and actually for this time of the year, prices are at great levels, which is all driven by propane supply.
There's a lot of seasonality, though, to prices. I assume that means that there's a lot of seasonality in demand.
That's right. Yeah, typically the grain drying season is kind of the, I guess the start to the high demand season for propane, because then you move into winter and a lot of propane gets used for home heat, building heat, greenhouses, barns, etc. This year coming in, we had high supplies already. Grain drying demand wasn't as high as it has been in the past. Corn came in pretty dry out of the field, which is a good thing for an ag producer, and which leads to a good situation for people that use propane through the winter. Prices are really good right now. Because of that, I'm encouraging folks, whether you're an ag producer, a homeowner, or both, to talk to your propane marketer about how to take advantage of that situation, how to, perhaps add additional storage, get your tanks filled now while prices are good. Look at some pricing options that may lock in some prices for a longer period. Talk to your propane marketer, look at the markets, and see how to take advantage of what's a really good situation for propane consumers.
Truly, because of the low price, there's been new interest in converting vehicles to propane, converting irrigation wells to propane, so using some of that counter-cyclical demand as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of new propane equipment on the market, whether we're talking lawnmowers, vehicles, or irrigation engines. And I really encourage people to take a look at those options. I like to call it a new generation of propane equipment, and it is. It's very good equipment. It's very, built from the ground up to run on propane. And it's efficient, it's clean up front, it's cost effective, and yeah, you're using a lot of that fuel during the summer when propane prices are at their best. Now, I say the long-term outlook on propane is that we'll continue to see production increase, so the long-term price outlook is generally good. So,
we're visiting with Cinch Munson. We have been talking about propane. This is Kyle Bauer reporting from Kansas City. Back to you, Jamie.
After this word from our sponsors, we'll learn how cattle producers use genetics to raise beef consumers' demand.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This segment brought to you by Heinen Brothers Ag. Farmers helping farmers by offering quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today to protect your crop yield.
Welcome back to Farm Factor. Let's see how advancements in genetics produce cattle that capture a high-quality consumer's interest.
Not all calves are created equal.
In the past, it didn't matter, every 500-pound calf would sell for about the same. Now we might see somewhere in the range of 30 to 50 cents per pound difference for the same weight calf sold at a sale barn or sold in a load lot, just based on genetics, previous performance, things like that.
Every day, beef producers are looking for ways to capture these premiums.
But there are three big areas that we add value to cattle. They have to have the ability to grow once they hit that feedlot, or even before they hit the feedlot on the cow, the ability to grow. They have to be healthy. Health is such a huge economic importance in the industry today. And finally, they have to create a quality eating experience for the consumer, because we need to keep in mind that the people that really drive this industry ultimately is that beef consumer. And so they demand today a high quality product.
Producers can work with their veterinarians to prepare calves for health in the feedlot. Cora says focusing more on genetics can greatly influence the other two value drivers.
Make sure on the growth side that you're paying attention to weaning EPDs, yearling EPDs, or even dollar index values can tell an awful lot about how the cattle will do once they leave that ranch or farm.
Little numbers can have a big impact. Some producers mistakenly think because marbling EPD numbers are small, like 0.4 or 0.6, they don't mean much.
Keep in mind that as you go from the industry average on Angus cattle today of slightly above 0.6 for a marbling EPD, if you go to 0.8 just in picking that bull, we're going to get 20 units of marbling. 20 units of marbling is absolutely huge to both that ultimate consumer and basically how those cattle are going to perform once they hit the rail.
As beef prices have risen, consumers expect a better eating experience. Cora says that increased demand is seen in calf values. High-quality cattle may bring an extra $50 at weaning and $80 to $120 coming out of the feedlot.
So it's really this high-quality part that the consuming public is demanding. That has been increasing in the last 5 to 8 years. I think it'll continue to increase, and that's the opportunity for the cattle industry to add value.
I'm Bob Cervera.
Stay with us after the break for this week's Plain Talk with Kyle Bauer and Dwayne Taves.
Earlier in my life, I rode bucking horses and rodeos, and my shoulders took such a beating, and that was probably the reason for having several previous surgeries on both shoulders. About a year ago, I decided that I didn't want to have another surgery, and so I contacted Kansas Regenerative Medicine, took their treatment process. It was relatively pain-free. Now, after 8 months, my shoulders have healed to the point where I think I'm probably 90 to 95% of normal. It takes a couple of months to start to see results and feel real progress. That continued to increase gradually until now at approximately 8 months, and I'm extremely pleased. I've got full range of motion. I can lift weights, I can throw, I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do without a lot of pain previously.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Through the generosity of Dr. Eva Gardner and Dr. Dan Thompson, Kansans now have the opportunity to support the wildfire relief effort by purchasing a signed and numbered print of the original painting, A Walk Through Henry's Dreams, by Dr. Gardner. This gallery quality print is only $200. Order your print today online or call 785-273-5115. Please help support the Kansas Livestock Foundation Wildfire Relief Fund.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply. Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com. Segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor. Today, Kyle and Dwayne discuss the facts behind the packets of laundry detergent recently making news.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with Dwayne Taves. You've seen these little packets of laundry detergent have the multicolors in them. Do you use them at home?
I do.
We use them in the dishwasher.
Okay.
We don't use them in the
clothes washer.
In the clothes washer.
Why?
I don't know. That isn't what my wife buys. I don't know. I'm not in charge of that.
I'm in charge of laundry at the house, and it's very convenient for me.
Yeah, and that's what, in the dishwasher, it's super convenient too. And I mean, not very messy. You just throw them in there, and it's great. But did you know they were a major poisoning issue for children?
I didn't know about children. I'd heard pets.
Yeah, well, because they're multicolored, they kind of look like candy.
Yeah.
And, okay, as a grandparent, as a parent, you're a little more attuned to these things. As a grandparent, you're a lot less attuned to these things.
Yeah.
And so, 17,000 kids a year, 6 and younger, are poisoned by those packets.
Okay, now by poisoned, they don't die.
Okay. You want the gruesome facts.
I want the truth.
769 were hospitalized.
Okay.
Okay. 1 child died. 12 suffered seizures, and 30 were put into comas. But yes, of the 17,000, there was less than 1,000 that were hospitalized.
Of those that were hospitalized, only 31 were really an issue.
So you're saying that's an acceptable level of loss?
There's a lot of kids out there in a lot of those little packets.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just
saying there's more than 31 kids that are hospitalized for things other than that. I mean,
well, you got a great point, because I thought, okay, in full disclosure, I was one of those kids who my mother fed me soap from time to time. When I'd speak badly, say the incorrect words.
The incorrect word at the time.
Yeah.
Or any time.
Yeah, and so my mouth was washed out with soap. It was a acceptable level of child abuse in those days.
Sure.
And I don't ever remember me or any of my friends having to go to the hospital because we had to bite down on the lava bar. So I don't know what the difference is if some of that multicolored stuff is more poisonous. Part of it could be you just bite down on it, it's flat get in your eye. You squirt soap in your eye.
Probably the thing. I think it's in the mouth. It's super concentrated.
Yes, it is.
I mean, you think about that. It's
as compared to putting half a cup of soap in there, you're throwing that little bitty packet.
And you've got not only is it the soap, but it's the fabric softener and a stain remover.
Okay, so a little bit of bleach, stain remover. Yeah,
must be the color safe bleach. That's
well,
in there.
as a grandparent, I'm just saying I want to warn all the other grandparents out there that your house may not be as safe as you think. And in fact, in the article, they say don't even just put them up high. Put them in high with a latch on it because they look so much like candy that some kids will get a chair, get over there, and try to get the candy out of the cabinet. I'm seeing you going, well, that kid gets what he deserves.
Well, I'm thinking, who's keeping candy in the laundry room? Most kids can't get near laundry.
I just said it was in our kitchen. We use it for dishwashing detergent.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a dishwasher.
Yes, you do.
2 hands. Does it every time.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor. We're here every Tuesday on Ag AM in Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agaminkansas.com.